It is late. The room is dark. The brightest thing in it is the screen in your hand. And some quiet part of you knows you should have been asleep an hour ago. Here is the strange part. For almost the entire history of our species, that glow did not exist. When the sun went down, the world did not dim. It vanished. And what your ancestors actually did in those hours, the long black hours between sunset and sleep, is stranger and far closer to you than you would think. In the next few minutes, we are going to step into a night 50,000 years ago. And we are going to find one thing they did every single night that your brain is still trying to do right now and can't. Put the screen down. Let's go back. Imagine the last light leaving the sky, not the soft dusk of a city where the night is only ever a dimmer shade of orange. Real dark, the kind where you cannot see your own hand. For most of human history, this happened every evening, and it changed everything. The animals that hunted us, the leopards, the hyenas, the cave lions, were built for this. Their eyes gathered light ours could not. In the dark, we were not the top of the food chain. We were somewhere in the middle of it. So the first thing ancient humans did at night was the most important thing any of us have ever done. They made fire. Fire was not comfort. Fire was the line between the living and the eaten. It pushed the dark back a few meters and held it there. And in that small circle of light, something happened that may have made us who we are. We can't visit a Paleolithic night, but we can visit the closest thing left. Anthropologists have spent years living with the few remaining hunter-gatherer societies. Among them, the Juhwansi of the Kalahari and the Hadza of Tanzania, and watching what happens when the sun goes down. The anthropologist Polly Weissner did something clever. She recorded what people talked about by day and what they talked about by firelight, and found they were almost two different species of conversation. Daytime talk was practical and often sharp. Complaints, plans, arguments, who did what. But at night, by the fire, more than 8 in 10 conversations became something else entirely. Stories, the dead, distant people, spirits, the imagined. Think about what that means. The night did not just give our ancestors rest. It gave them the one time of day when the practical mind switched off and the imagining mind switched on. The fire was where myth was born, where the map of the invisible world was drawn. Firelight may have been the first place humans learned to think about things that were not in front of them. And you are the descendant of the ones who were good at it. There is a second surprise waiting in the dark. Ancient humans almost certainly did not sleep in one long block the way we try to. When the historian Roger Akirch went looking through hundreds of years of old diaries, court records, and letters, he kept finding references to something we have completely forgotten: a first sleep and a second sleep, with an hour or two of quiet wakefulness in between. They would sleep as the fire died, wake near midnight, and in that still, dark hour, they would talk softly, tend the fire, pray, or simply lie and think before falling into the second sleep until dawn. Waking in the middle of the night was not a problem to be fixed. It was the shape of the night itself. We tend to picture our ancestors as drowsy and vulnerable once it got dark. The opposite is closer to the truth. As the light fades, the brain releases melatonin. And melatonin does not only make you sleepy, it sharpens the senses. Hearing widens. The eyes strain for the faintest movement. Around that fire, A human at night was alert, tuned to every crack of a branch beyond the light. And here, finally, is the thing your brain is still trying to do. That heightened, watchful state was survival. It kept the ones who had it alive through the night. You inherited it. Which is why, when you lie in the dark and your mind will not switch off, when every small sound seems louder and your thoughts run faster the moment the light goes out, you are not broken. You are running a program that is older than language. Your brain thinks it is on watch. So what did ancient humans do at night? They gathered light against the dark. They told the first stories the world had ever heard. They slept in two halves and used the gap. And they stayed quietly, usefully alert, because the dark was real, and it was dangerous, and it was theirs. We flooded the night with light a little over a century ago. It happened so fast that our biology never got the memo. Somewhere under the screens and the streetlights, you are still a creature built for the fire and the dark, waiting for a night that no longer comes. The next time you cannot sleep, don't reach for the phone. Reach for the oldest instruction we have. Dim the light, quiet the day, let the dark arrive. Your ancestors knew how this was supposed to feel. If that gave you something to think about, this is what this channel does. Every few days, we sit with the questions your mind asks in the dark. See you in the next one.